I am a little late to the party on this one, but I just discovered this game that's been in production for a couple of years, and I just did a deep dive on everything I could possibly find about it, and it looks awesome. So I'm going to tell you everything I just learned. In this video, I'm going to tell you not only about the basic facts of this game, when it's going to come out, all that good stuff, but the things that I think are going to kind of set it apart from other games, as well as what I think they're doing really well so far, and then also my predictions for what might be coming in the game. And I'll save probably my specific wish list for another video because I really want to put some thought into that on its own. So let's get right into it with the info about this game and where it came from. The game is called Fields of Mistria, and it is a farm sim mixed with magic type of a game, which they have called like a successor, like a spiritual successor to the Harvest Moons and the Stardew Valleys of the world, which is awesome because those are both games that are amazing and really set the bar for other games that want to explore this genre. I am glad it's going to have a little bit of a twist with the magic because I think that opens up some other gameplay elements, some other mechanics that we're going to see, and that of course is great. It keeps things fresh, it keeps things original and interesting, so I'm really excited how they incorporate this into the world of Mistria. So the premise of the game is there was an earthquake that happened, and basically they are trying to rebuild the town. So there's some villagers plus yourself, and you're trying to restore the town to kind of its former peak glory, which is going to be really interesting because I think that that's going to mean that you're not going to have every store open and every building functional right away because they're probably damaged. And so I think a lot of the gameplay loop probably is going to be gathering materials, using gold that you earn through farming to unlock these buildings. Maybe more villagers will move back to the town. So that's kind of what you can expect for the gameplay loop. They do also indicate, other than farming, there's also going to be fishing, exploring ruins, crafting, mining, farm customization, as well as animals. I did see that you can breed animals into unique and rare colors, which I think will be really fun to have a way to really customize even your animals on the farm. Additional to that, they also mention that you can unlock magical spells. There is going to be festivals, and then of course it wouldn't be a farm sim game without romance and marriage, so that is awesome as well. There also appears to be bug catching, so I'm really excited for that too. I think that's kind of a fun little mini game that not all farm sim games have, so I think that's going to be great. The developer is called NPC Studio, which I love because NPCs really do make the world go round in the farm sim genre, and they make you feel really immersed into the world. So I love the name of the studio. It's based out of Chicago, founded in 2019, which I think is approximately when they started formulating ideas from the game. The developers, being an indie developer, they have a really cohesive small team, and they're all really big fans of Harvest Moon and Stardew Valley, etc., etc. So you know that it's people that are going to be passionate about this kind of game, not just trying to make a game for the sake of it being a popular type of a game now. There is no release date for this game yet. However, about a month ago on November 9th, they actually made a tweet that said that you could wishlist the game now on Steam. So that means it kind of hit that next development stage where they're ready to start spreading the word about the game, which is really, really exciting. From how much content they've posted on their Twitter, it seems like the game really is far along. So I think we're going to see it sooner than later. Not too soon, of course. It's not coming out in the next month or two, but I think we can maybe expect it in the next year, maybe 2 years at the most. It's definitely coming out on PC because I mentioned Steam, of course, but they do mention here that consoles are to be announced. So probably a port is likely. Switch, Xbox, hopefully all of them, but we'll just have to wait to find out. So that's pretty much what we know about the game so far, but let's go into some of the screenshots, the GIFs, the videos, because that's going to paint a little bit more of a picture, and I'll point out some of the things that I think are really interesting and maybe different from other games. One example of that happens right now. You can see Adeline winks in the middle of her sentence, and so I think there's going to be a lot of animation and the characters are going to be bringing to life. So speaking of characters, let's talk about the marriage candidates. On their Twitter and all of their material so far, there's a huge focus on the romanceable characters. I think they have really well developed these characters from what it looks like so far, which is amazing because there's nothing worse than a game that revolves around a village, town, or story, and then the characters are just so flat that you never want to interact with them, especially on that first playthrough. So all of these screenshots here, I am just falling in love with all of these characters. I'm going to have about 20 save files to marry them all, even though I don't think there is actually 20 characters, but what I'm saying is I think that I'm going to want to play through a lot of different times because it seems like it's going to be worthwhile. We can also see in this screenshot here that they are including some choices for you to answer questions from the villagers, and I always love that touch in games because, again, it makes it feel like a more immersive, real experience. They also mentioned on the Twitter that characters are getting seasonal outfits. You can see here in this little GIF or GIF or whatever you want to call it that this character is changing outfit. So I think that's, again, another nice touch because it will just make the world feel very complete, and it just is a very aesthetic design choice for the game, which I really, really appreciate. On Valentine's Day, they put this adorable photo of a kiss between you and one of the romanceable characters, which also hints that there's going to be same-sex relationships, and hopefully that means that there's going to be a lot of representation and inclusiveness in many different ways in this game. That is a big hope of mine, and from their Twitter and what I've seen so far, I think that's going to be the case, so we'll just have to wait and see how things go, but I'm pretty confident in that so far. There are professions for the romanceable characters, including owners of the inns. We can see Rias here is the local carpentry king. I think that there's somebody that's kind of royalty. I'm not sure to what degree, but it's really cool that they're, a really big part of the town and they don't exist just to be romanced. That's pretty typical in the games that they all have some sort of function, but not always. Some NPCs are pretty useless other than being marriage candidates. So it's cool to see that they are going to have their own kind of life. And maybe when you partner up with somebody and get married, maybe you will unlock some special privileges or bonuses based on what their role was in the town. Anyways, we'll have to do a deeper dive on the actual characters later, once we learn more about them, once more is released. So let's move on to some of the other graphics that they have released. All of the images and photos are just really charming so far. This squirrel one made me laugh out loud because it's just so unhinged and I love it. Next up, we have the cow parade. So a couple things to note here. There is accessories that you can put on your animals, such as hats, sunglasses, and the animals are all different colors, and that is just really fun. I think there's going to be a lot of customization, a lot of kind of like whimsical things like that. And as you can see here in the next picture, your animals are literally playing catch with each other. So I just think it's going to be awesome to have animals on your farm because it just seems like it makes it like a happier place. So that's always good. They also posted a little sneak peek at one of the winter songs, they say. So I didn't include the music in this video because I'm not sure what they're doing about copyright and stuff like that right now. So I just thought that I would actually link in the video description a link to their music on YouTube, and it helps support them by listening to it on YouTube anyways. So, but from my first opinion of it, it sounds, again, really charming. I keep using that word, and I'm getting really excited for this game. All right, moving on to one more thing before we start wrapping up the video here. This is maybe the ruins or the mines, and as you can see, there's whirlpools to take you down to different levels. It looks like there's treasure. I think that they know that dungeon crawling is just a fun addition to the game, and it looks like they've put a lot of work into it so far, so I hope that it is as rewarding as some of the other games I've played where there's mines and dungeons where there's a ton of loot, a ton of different ores and gems and things like that to collect, and I am just really excited for that. I encourage you to go check out all their socials because they've actually posted a lot of screenshots, and they continue all the time. Like every Saturday they post a screenshot of the game, which is really awesome. So I'm gonna link their Twitter in the video description, and go check them out because I haven't posted absolutely everything that they've posted because they just keep updating and updating it. So let's wrap it up here. Very excited for this game. Let me know in the comments what you think about this game and are you excited for it. And then also, as always, if you're able to subscribe, that would be so great. Have the best day. See you at the next video.